Okay, so we are on our Windows deployment services. We just configured our Windows deployment, so now we're gonna add our boot images and our install images. Okay, so I'm gonna go on my SuperLab here. I'm gonna go on drop down arrow. I'm gonna go on boot images. But before I do put in my boot images, I'm gonna mount my drive with my Windows 7, my ISO Windows 7 files. I'm gonna go on my VM here. Watch very closely. I'm gonna go on my VM. I'm gonna right click here. I'm gonna click choose. Well, I'm just gonna remove this because I just recently mounted my files. I'm gonna click choose a virtual CD drive. So this is basically just like how you use DevTools. This basically you mounting the image on server itself. Okay, so I'm gonna click on mount Windows 7. My ISO file open. Please do excuse the noises, please. I'm gonna right click on this, add boot image. I'm gonna browse. I'm gonna go on computer. I'm gonna add the boot image directly from the disk. Okay. And click that. I'm gonna click that WIM. Click on the boot image here. Click open. Click next. I'm gonna change this to 7. Sorry, 7. And 7. Okay, click next again. Next and finish. So this will be my boot image, Microsoft Windows 7. So basically adding my images here. Okay, I'm going to click finish here. Now I'm going to go to my install images and add install images. Click next, image group 1. I'm going to go on browse again. I'm going to go on computer. I'm going to open up my CD drive here. Go on search, basically to find a file easier. .wim and install. Open. Click next. These are my two files that I installed in here. Windows Ultimate. These are my two operating systems, 32 and 64-bit. Right, I'm going to leave this ticked off, use default name and description. So it's going to keep this name when I install the images here. Click next. Right, so these are the names we're going to be using. I'm going to click next again, and I'm going to wait for this to install. Okay, so this takes a little while in my system, so I'm going to pause this and I'll be back with you when it's finished. Okay, so I'm back. My install images has been installed, so I'm going to click finish. Alright, I'm just going to close off this here. I'm going to go on my VirtualBox here, and I'm going to create a new virtual machine, right? So I'm going to click next. I'm going to name this Win 2007, meaning Windows 2007. You see it shows here. So I'm going to click next again, next, virtual hard disk, next again, and create. Okay. So for us to run this, we need to get a extension pack for this, because mainly this is not a real system, so you wouldn't have a network card so you could be able to boot. Remember, this is a virtual system, so we need to get a network card mainly, or in this course a extension pack, so we could be able to run this. So I'm gonna be doing this now. Okay, alright, I've done putting the website www.virtualbox.org. Alright, I'm gonna click getting the version of my VM here. On Windows help, get the version 4.16. right, So I'm going to go back on my browser here. If you're using version 1.18, this is all. You just click on all platforms and you install that. I'm gonna go on VirtualBox older builds. I'm gonna tick on 4.1. Okay, 4.16. Click on all platforms, extension pack. Okay, you can see it's installing here. It's downloading here. Okay, so once that downloaded, I'm gonna show you how to install this basically. Okay, so our installation pack or extension pack has been installed automatically. It comes up on my VM, asks me to install. You just click agree and you keep on going. Okay, so I'm gonna go on settings here on my Windows 2000 virtual system I just created here. I'm gonna go on system. I'm gonna click network. I'm gonna move this up. Now, when you're doing this on a real system, you go on the BIOS. Basically, you enter the BIOS by either pressing F2, F12, or delete. Now, when you do this, you go and you find for network or LAN. You'll see something called LAN, meaning you're using an IP address from the server to get your boot images and your install images. And basically you move this up in the boot order so it could basically be booted first, because normally when the operating system when you push in a CD, it boots from the CD first and then it runs to the hard drive if the operating system is already installed. Okay, so I'm gonna move this up too, and you will realize why in a little short time. I'm gonna go on network here. I'm gonna click on internal because the internal network here running. I'm gonna click OK. So now I'm gonna boot my VM here. I'm gonna click cancel here because now this is gonna do our network run here. You see? Okay, so this is what I was talking about, net GUID. You must be exact when you're running this GUID, when you're putting in a GUID for a client, because if you don't, it will never accept the client every time you want to add this client to your network. You must be precise with this. Okay, so I'm just going to reset this because it took too long to press F12. Click machine. I'm going to click on reset. Right, so getting the signal asks me to press F12 to continue the service boot here. See, scroll this down for you. Is reading my boot image from my IP address 192.168.0.1. Is getting my boot image from my IP address. So setup is starting here. So as you can see, this is one client I'm running here, but you can do this to multiple amount of clients through a network. I'm just basically doing one client here to make it simpler for us to understand. Okay, normally when this page comes up, it asks you to install your network card, meaning install it automatically. If it doesn't, it cancels. Okay, remember that. So I'm going to click next here. It's going to ask me for rights here, my username. Remember the username you put in here, you will need to remember it when you're going to log in the first time when you install your Windows. In this case, the domain name and administrator, and you put in your password. Click OK. Okay, I made an error with my password apparently. my two images here that we created using our server, Windows 7 Ultimate and Windows 7 Ultimate 32 bits. I want to click on the 32 bit. I want to click next. This is my disk allocation space, 20 gigs. You can split this, you could do this, remember, by using our driver options here. Basically what we did in our previous tutorials. I'm going to click next again here, and I'm going to let this install Windows 7. Okay. Okay, it was basically waiting for the files on the server. Okay. So I'm going to leave this to install. I'm going to pause this and we'll be right back with you in it. Okay, so my installation is finished. I'm going to click next here. I'll enter my name. So I'm going to name this Jack 7. Click next again. No password. Accept license and terms. Next. Use recommended settings. Sorry. Click next again. So my Windows 7 Ultimate is just loading here. Just taking a little while, so I'm going to pause this and I'll be back with you, okay? Okay, so my Windows has started up here. After putting my password, remember the password we had put in when we started the installation. Supra backslash administrator password. So this is the first time my installation is starting, so this will take a little while, like every other normal installation. We're installing this through our server, so our server automatically, our client here automatically joins the domain. So, but I will show you this, prove that my client has joined the domain. Okay, so my Windows 7 client has been loaded here. I'm going to go on computer. Sorry, my bad. I'm going to go on computer, click on start, go on computer, right click, properties. Okay, I'm going to go down and you're going to see the name of my PC is administrator.supralab.com. So domain supralab.com. So you can see my Windows has automatically joined my system here, or my domain. So I'm going to go back on my server 2008 here. Go back on my server 2008 here. I'm going to click on machine, insert control or delete. Just log in back here. I'm going to go on Active Directory, services here. Go back down, click on the drop down for Active Directory, superlab.com. Now click on computers, administrator 1 and administrator 2. Administrator 2 is this client we just install our Windows 2. Show you that again. So once you join users Windows Deployment Services to load your operating system on your client, it automatically joins your server and your domain. Okay, sorry, as you can see right here. Okay, so basically that was Windows Deployment Services for you here. I hope you learned a lot and I enjoyed my tutorial, and that's all for today.